What's up, YouTube? Capital G. As part of my birthday yesterday, I finally got to see the Avengers movie. I went with my nephew, my niece, and my brother. Finally got around to seeing it. I know I'm one of the last people on earth to see the movie, but oh my goodness, it was so amazing and I loved it so much. I felt that I had to make a randomness about it. If not just a ramble on and talk about how much I loved the movie. First off, the pacing of the movie was absolutely flawless. I thought that it being 2.5 hours, that they would potentially struggle to fill all that time, because you have to remember all of the origin stories except for Hawkeye and Widow were basically explained throughout the singular movie, so they didn't have that to fall back on to fill space up. So I thought that there may be points in the movie where it was boring or that felt forced. Like if you ever seen the first Iron Man, I mean, there's a scene in the movie where he's having a press conference and he's eating a Whopper, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, is this still a superhero movie? Like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't feel like there was any of that. Like, every moment was either action-packed, or they were explaining a point of attack, or they were, dealing with Loki, or there was comedy. Like, everything worked together great. It didn't feel like anything was forced. It didn't feel like the movie ever stalled. The pacing was just excellent. Speaking of Loki, I thought he was an excellent villain. Fantastic performance. The thing that got me about Loki was I had a lot of concerns that Loki wouldn't be powerful enough to take on all the Avengers, because, I mean, for the most part, Loki's not even stronger than Thor. You know what I mean? So how is he going to beat the entire crew? But Loki did have an army to back him, pretty much an endless amount of, soldiers and stuff like that. But the true genius of Loki wasn't that he was, overly powerful. It was how cerebral he was. The scene with him and Widow, where he's talking about how he has Hawkeye's mind and he's gonna make Hawkeye kill her, then he's gonna kill Hawkeye. And the scene where it's him and Tony in the room and he's offering them a drink and they're just talking, like, those were so intense. And it wasn't because of, this power that he had. It was because of how cerebral he was. He was walking that thin line between, like, insanity and criminal genius, and he did it so freaking well. Like, that's what made him so good in the movie. It wasn't that he was overly powerful or that I really felt like he had the power to kill all the Avengers. It was just like his mental aspect and how cerebral he was. I thought that the character dynamic between all the Avengers was absolutely great. I mean, when they basically all meet, they don't, for the most part, outside of, like, Widow, none of them like each other. I mean, Captain America and Iron Man constantly butted heads. There was a huge conflict between them for most of the movie, because we all know, like, Tony Stark is an egomaniac and he's not changing for anybody. Captain America is this good old school homegrown boy who's all about the stars and stripes, all about teamwork and go team and stuff like that. And Iron Man is just like, nah, dude, I'm flashy and I'm rich and I'm balling and I'm gonna do my thing and I'm gonna make sure my name gets out there. Thor comes along and he doesn't care about any of this, and he gets into a fight with Iron Man immediately. And then you throw the Hulk into the scenario, and it's just like, oh man, this thing is not gonna work. It's a disaster. But they finally do come together. They work as a team, and it's great. But the conflict of them when they're all fighting each other was, I might have liked that more than when they came together. I can't even decide which one, because they were both that good. Another thing, every hero mattered. When you think about who's gonna do the bulk work, of destroying Loki's army, like Hulk and Thor and Iron Man, the ones who can, the big guns of the team, it would have been very easy for Cap and Hawkeye and Black Widow to easily get swept under the rug, because, they don't have superpowers. But they still made it seem like every single character mattered. I mean, Hawkeye could have practically been invisible throughout this movie, but he was very relevant for the fact that the first half of the movie he was evil, which, when they assault the big ass flying ship, that made him very relevant. He gets into a fight with Widow. Even when they're finally fighting Loki's army, everybody has their defined roles. And, Cap makes sure that the ground team is him and Black Widow, and they're on the ground, they're fighting. They've got Hawkeye up in the buildings playing Archer, taking out, units that are coming in for the air. So it really did feel like every single member of the Avengers mattered, and it would have been easy for half the team to kind of just go unnoticed. Now, my personal favorite Avenger is Thor. Thor did the damn thing in the movie. He was awesome. Kicking ass, taking names. He did it all. I remember the scene where he was fighting Iron Man in the woods, and Cap told him to put down the hammer. And as soon as he said that, Thor looks at him and he says, "You want me to put down the hammer?" And I thought, oh my goodness, that was such a poor choice of words. You don't even know what you're about to start, Cap. It was Thor definitely was awesome in the movie. Not to say that the other Avengers weren't equally awesome. My favorite thing about the entire movie, and this is going to sound really, really odd, was at the very end. There were actually people who left before the credits ended at the movie theater, and I was shocked because I was like, have you not seen the 5 movies that came before this? How there's always something at the end of the movie that leads into future movies where, you know, they have this, the leader of that army, and he's talking to this like overlordish figure. And I tried to run through all the characters in my mind from the Marvel universe, and I thought to myself, who is that? Who is that? And I thought like a couple of names popped up in my head, and I thought, okay, maybe it's Doctor Doom. And I was like, no, Doom is human, and he wouldn't want Loki to take over the world. Plus, I don't think Doom has those type of connections. I thought maybe it was MODOK, and I was thinking, no, you know, MODOK is that's a viable choice. MODOK could definitely be an Avengers enemy. I thought Galactus, but they had already used him in the Fantastic Four movie, and Marvel basically just abandoned that series because both of the movies were awful, and they made them awful. And then they showed the face, and I instantly knew who it was, and I was like, oh my god, they let my nigga Thanos out. It is over, bro. And for everybody who didn't know who that was, shame on you. Play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, motherfuckers. That's all I learned about Thanos, because obviously I Googled that motherfucker after I got the game. But anyways, for those of you who don't know who Thanos is, Google him. He is a fucking monster. Like, in every single sense of the word. Like, and the worst thing about Thanos is, he's not like Loki. He doesn't want power. He doesn't want people to grovel at his feet. Like, you can't reason with Thanos. Thanos worships death. Well, they call her Lady Death. He wants to please her. How do you please Lady Death? By killing every single thing in your sight. Like, that's all Thanos wants to do, is just kill. He can't be reasoned with. Like, if he's in the next Avenger movie, I'm just going to say it. Thor might be the only motherfucker that survives. Because Thanos is that strong. He's one of 2 or 3 people in the entire Marvel universe you do not want on your planet. Oh my goodness. I think I'm so geeked that they showed Thanos, because I don't know how on earth they're going to try and stop this dude. I heard that the Infinity Gauntlet was actually in the Thor movie, which I'm about to watch on Netflix again because I must have missed that. But yeah, mind blown when they showed Thanos. I got so freaking geeked. So let me know what you guys thought about the movie. If you liked it, if you hated it, what you thought, you know, who was your favorite character, who your favorite Avenger is, anything related to Marvel, comics, Avengers, whatever. Click an ad, I'm out.